All right, well, we are here at Goodwill today in Lewisburg, with Michael, the Cult of Vintage. You can find him on Instagram. We're about to head in and see what we can find. We can flip for a profit. Here we go.
Well, the first thing I spotted on the shelf was this art glass starfish. And it had a little bit of millefiori in it with some smaller starfish. It was pretty cool. I figured I'd grab it. If it didn't have a very high resale value, I have children who love art glass, and I could pass that off to them. I found this plate on the shelf. At first I thought it was plastic, but I think it may have been made from capiz shell. And Michael found this vase. I think it was a silver plate. It was toll. I wasn't sure about it. That's more of an Andrew thing, so we did leave that behind. But I did like this plate. I probably would have considered it had there been more than one, but since it was all on its lonesome, I did pass on that. Now there was a beautifully painted plate here on the shelf. It was Mainstays made in China, but someone had repurposed it and painted it, and they actually did a really nice job. I didn't buy the plate, but I did admire it. Just as Michael admired these vampire teeth that were from Hallmark. Those were really cool, actually. I would have used them in my Halloween decor, to be honest. This box of mugs caught my eye because of the speckled clay. It made me think that they were possibly otagiri, but I just wasn't that committed to the thought of shipping all of those mugs. So I did pass on those, even though they were really cute. You know, I'm kind of regretting it a little, if I'm being honest. I probably should have grabbed them. There was a single shaker here on the shelf, and I loved the colors, but I did pass on the single. Occasionally I'll pick them up if they're amazing, but that one to me was just not amazing enough. I found this swan planter, and I kind of regret not picking this up either. I don't know what was going through my head today, but I didn't like this swan planter, and I decided to pass on that. It was probably worth $12 to $18. There was some art on the shelf that I looked at thinking it was real art, but obviously they are prints stuck in frames. This dish on the shelf appeared to be fused glass, and I do pick up fused glass from time to time. I liked the design of this and the contrast of the clear with the black. I thought it was a little bit Art Deco, it looked a little modern, and I thought it would make a nice console piece, so it went into the cart. I was a little curious about this piece down here. I wasn't quite sure what that was. There was a wooden turned bowl up here, and I did kind of like the design on it, but I didn't see a very high turnaround on that. And I checked out these little candle pieces to see if those were Glass Baby, because I've been told that is a company to be looking for, Glass Baby candle votives. And I totally just threw that off the shelf. But don't worry, I picked it up. At least it wasn't breakable. Here is another beautifully painted plate. I suspect this is by the same artist. There were a few of them there on the shelf, you can see. One of them was on wood. The other one was on another ceramic plate. She was really talented. I mean, I think those are really nicely done. But since it wasn't a complete set and they were just random plates, I couldn't do much with them, unfortunately. I did very much consider taking them, though. It was a hard decision to leave them behind. as you can tell, because I made sure they were there so that somebody could see them. I liked the pebbled look of this bowl, so I did turn it over to see if there were any markings on it. Now, I'm not sure who makes this bowl, but it reminded me of something I saw recently in the Chalet group. So for $4.99, I decided to grab it and figure it out later. Michael is helping a woman load her cart over there. It was very sweet. Now, these goblets right here, I believe, are called King's Crown. It was kind of just a hodgepodge set, and so I did pass on that. I'm always flipping things over to see what the mark is. It's very important. But as you can see, this is everything that I have. It's kind of sad, which is why we go next door. I did see these vintage glasses, at least they looked vintage, and I liked the shape of them. I did not like that there were only 2 of them. Those single plates don't sell very well, and you can see there's another beautifully painted plate down on the bottom, presumably by the same artist who did the other ones. However, this one was not signed. This one was on plastic. So there was wood, plastic, and ceramic, all by the same painter. I did come across this Christmas light, and it was missing the little pegs, but I do know that you could pick those up at Michael's, so I decided to grab this for $2.99, and we'll probably hold on to it until Christmas time. The intentions were there, but like after about the second row, they were like, you know, I can't do this.
Stick a fork.
It is pretty, but I'm going to surrender to the purses. And you know the trip to Goodwill is almost done when I'm looking at purses. All right, here we go, purses. Purses. Well, it turns out Goodwill was a little bit of a bust today, but that's okay because right next door over here is Lewisburg Antiques. So we're going to head into Lewisburg Antiques and see what we can find that we can flip for a profit. Here we go. Wowzers, look at this. Michael zeroed right in on this beautiful piece right here. It is Capodimonte, and it was only $75, but unfortunately there were some repairs. You can see there his head had broken off, and so had his, but they were really decent repairs. For only $75, that was a pretty good deal. So Michael was definitely interested in that. I was interested in this vase and that vase. They are tobacco leaf style vases. I really liked them, but they were a little high for me. I also liked the painting of the little girl. Over on the shelf, there was a Mary Poppins doll. I have seen her before, and she seems to always be missing her umbrella, so the fact that she had her umbrella was very neat. And that entire shelf, besides Michael Jackson, was basically dedicated to Mary Poppins, which I thought was very neat. And that's how Rocky rates. He's down there on the bottom. Sorry, Rocky. Now, I do kind of like the fake flowers in these vases. A lot of the times when I'll buy vases, I'll just ditch the fake flowers, but I think they did a really nice job of putting the flowers together. I'm impressed. And of course, I love the ceiling light because it's me. So when I turned around, I immediately noticed this black on black pottery, and I've had a thing for this recently. I'm not really sure why. I had picked up some pieces of this at Black Rose of Chambersburg. Unfortunately, those pieces did not do exceedingly well, but I still like it aesthetically, so definitely check that out. I thought that these were going to be Sasha Brastoff, and I was very surprised that they were not. These are Matthew Adams, and this is his Alaska line. Very, very similar to Sasha Brastoff, but different at the same time. I love the seals on them, and I was a little bit back and forth about them because, you know, one name I know, one name I don't, and at the time I wasn't looking anything up or doing comps, so Michael found a slag glass fish. It was actually pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. So eventually I talked myself into getting this set. It took a little bit of convincing, but I feel like it was worth it. So unfortunately, we're standing right under a speaker at this point, but Michael found these adorable little candlestick huggers that are monkeys. Unfortunately, you can see one of them is missing his leg, but they were so cute. And Michael decided to think about them, and at the very last minute on our trip, he did end up going back and picking them up. Unlike me, who says I'm going to think about something and then I just get sidetracked and forget. He remembered and he went back and he got them, but he does put them back at this point, and remembers them at the last moment. We've got a raku vase here, and I can tell it's raku because of that charred bottom. That's one of the biggest indicators for me, is that char. That usually tells me that it is raku. The glass in this booth was amazing. There was a little glass. They had it marked as a bud vase. I suspect it may have also been a lighter at one point in time, but it could now serve as a succulent holder. That was my thought. How I'm just, you know. And pretty much anything can be a succulent holder if you put your mind to it. But it still has an original sticker. In the same booth, they have a lot more glass. And you can see we didn't even hardly get in the door at all, and I am just grabbing lots of things. I grabbed this vase. It is marked on the bottom. I believe it's Roger Vines, 2002. It was $9. And I did grab this because I loved the contrast of the purple with the red. Totally missed that pyrography dish. That was quite nice. This appeared to be alabastro glass, but you can see that it's not entirely opaque. There was some Cosmos stemless daisy here, and I've bought and sold this in the past, and it does pretty well for me, but they had it priced at $47, and there just was not enough room for me to buy it and still flip it for a profit, so I did pass. I just love the way this booth is set up. It's like walking under the trees. They had a lot of really nice things. There was a little German basket here, a little German porcelain. A whole cabinet full of Roseville. I did find this. Now this is old glass. It reminded me of a finger bowl that I picked up a while back. I do not suspect this is a finger bowl because it has that ruffled edge. The finger bowls I've noticed don't usually have that. I could be wrong, but this reminds me of Victorian glass, possibly William and Stevens. I'm not sure, but it was a really nice piece, so I did decide to grab that. I also looked at this vase here. It appeared to be blown in mold. It was only $10, but you can see the mold mark there on the side. Even though it has a pontil mark, it is, maybe it doesn't have a pontil mark. I wasn't really feeling that piece. Wasn't really feeling it, so I passed on that. And this reminded me of a Pendleton rabbit, but I wasn't sure if it was a Pendleton or not. I have a hard time sometimes telling the difference between the hobbyist pieces and the actual Pendleton rabbits. Now, it wouldn't be a crazy lamp lady video if there wasn't a lamp. And I found this lamp for $40, and it was just fantastic. It kind of reminded me of Czech pottery, but I have not been able to find another one like it. So, I'm not sure, but I bought it for $40. Now, I am going to end the video here, and we'll pick up tomorrow where we leave off, but I just wanted to let all of you know that on Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021, Misty and I are going to be the guests with the Nurse Flipper on her channel. She does a live show every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we just happen to be the guests this Tuesday. So I hope that you tune in and chat with us and hang out for a little while. I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, so I guess I will see you all tomorrow for a continued adventure at Lewisburg Antiques.